Tonight on News 5 Live, Belize Sugar Industries says investors need stability to stay in Belize. Retiring Auditor General recognized by United States with Anti-Corruption Award. Belize only hitting middle of global rankings in World Justice Report. And the 30th anniversary of News 5 celebration continues tonight with former reporter Janelle Chanona. Details of these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
We have been a partner with SMART for over 10 plus years. We have a full SMART plan we use as our major driver for our business. We have a service that rolls over in that if you call one and it is busy, it rolls over to the next line. So once you call us, you can get us at any time. Before we got this SMART service, we were paying upwards of nearly $2,000 in phone bills. Since we've had our SMART service, we pay an average about $600. So we've had tremendous saving, more than 50%. For the businesses, if you want to save money, switch to SMART because it is far more cost effective and the service is excellent.
SMART continues to be innovative in bringing new technology and meaningful savings during these challenging times to businesses across Belize. Sign up for our VoIP technology or broadband packages and save more.
The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
Beep disinfectant spray is certified by a U.S. EPA compliant lab to kill the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. Beep for a happy, healthy home.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, December 8. I am Sabrina Daly. Will the sugarcane processing season begin on schedule this month? Following its meeting with the Prime Minister, John Briceño, on Monday, today the Belize Sugar Industry Limited says it is hopeful that their trade dispute with the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association will be resolved before the expiration of the current commercial agreement in January. ASR-BSI is preparing to meet with the association's leaders next week to discuss changes to the formula for payment to cane farmers. BSI will present their proposal to BSCFA at the upcoming meeting. For context, in late October, BSCFA recommended a change in the price of cane per ton from a formula based on a distribution of the net stripped value to a formula based on a distribution of the gross proceeds. BSI says they have since designed a simplified approach to the payment formula in accordance with the association's recommendation. They are now hopeful that this new formula has the potential to bring this ongoing impasse to an end. Without giving any details on what this new formula looks like, Mac McLaughlin, Vice President of International Relations, met with the media via Zoom today.
The BSCFA have made a proposal for some fairly radical changes to the way the cane payment formula works. The government have asked us and BSCFA to consider a way forward together, and also to ensure that that the crop can take place and that there won't be interruptions to the crop. So we were able to meet with the Prime Minister on Monday and to explain that, you know, we've looked at what's being proposed, and that, you know, we are prepared to have a discussion with BSCFA on you know, based on their concept, but and I don't want to get into too much detail because we've reached out for that meeting next week, and it wouldn't be right to give too many details of what we're looking at. But I think we may have found a way to do two things, really. One of them is to look at a new approach to the formula, looking at the way BSCFA presented that would do away with a lot of the conjecture and the false accusations that have been levelled at this mill over all the time I've been working here in the last 8 years, concerning, you know, how much deducted from cane farmers for logistics and freight and the manufacturing of higher value sugars. So we think we found a way of doing away with all of that, having a far simpler agreement that meets the farmers, you know, concerns about not understanding or not agreeing with some of those deductions, but at the same time, and which is a red line for us, not transferring value from the mill to farmers.
McLaughlin also spoke frankly about growing reluctance of its stakeholders to further invest in Belize until the impasse is resolved.
This is a private business. It's a private commercial business here. So clearly the onus is on ourselves and the cane farmers to be able to resolve our issues. We are coming at this from a point of view of really ending the kind of difficulties we've had in that relationship over the years for the long term, because I think for the future of this industry, that's the way we should go. We have had to explain to the government that, you know, under these conditions, where, you know, we are being put in a position where one side wants to get more from us without really listening to our arguments. That is a very difficult position for us to be in. We're simply not prepared, and our owners are not prepared to invest any more money in Belize until we can straighten these things out. And that means both, you know, having a more constructive relationship with farmers, but also to ensure that the regulatory environment here and the way that's operated permits us to continue to, it's conducive to our investment for the future. These things are really important for the industry. And so, you know, I think we've been able to have a frank conversation with the government about those points. And, you know, I hope that we can all move forward together.
In the end, cane farmers run the risk of losing out on the fair trade premium paid to associations on an annual basis. These premiums are paid as an extra sum of money on top of the selling price to invest in projects of their choice. Having a signed commercial agreement is one of the prerequisites to qualifying for that premium.
Fair trade is an internationally recognized standard, which basically is designed to encourage agricultural production in sustainable ways, and provides an avenue for return of funding directly to cane farmer associations. As part of that, it's policed by Fair Trade through independent auditors who visit every year, and they audit all fair trade associations. It's involved in many different areas, not just sugar. There's cocoa. There's lots of different commodities that Fair Trade works with, as I say, international standard. And there are ground rules, clear ground rules, on which Fair Trade operates. Now, I'm not the expert on these things, but one thing I do know is that this mill needs to have a commercial contract with farmers, and farmers need to have a commercial contract with the mill to be able to qualify for fair trade funding, because that's one of the principles upon which fair trade is built.
For their part, the Committee of Management of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association lost no time in responding to ASR's BSI statement today. This evening, they issued a release saying that while the Belize Sugar Industries Limited, the BSI, informed Belize Cane Farmers Association, the BSCFA, about its counter-proposals for a commercial agreement, these proposals focus only on two of the proposals submitted by BSCFA. These are the payment structure for sugarcane and the period of the agreement. They say BSI proposes a payment structure that takes into account the application of a ratio of 60-40 for the cane farmers and the mill, only in respect of raw sugar that is exported to the European Union market. This, they say, does not include the raw sugar that is sold under the U.S. quota in the U.S. market and any direct consumption sugar sold in the local and export markets, to which the 65-35 ratio on net stripped value will be maintained. The association finds the proposal by BSI to be, in their word, untenable, as it does not seek to provide a fair cane payment to the cane farmers. BSI continued to propose a period of 7 years for the agreement. The cane farmers maintain that this is inflexible, and they hope that the government can prevail upon BSI to sign a 1-year interim agreement while negotiations are being finalized. Nevertheless, the BSCFA is still willing to negotiate a commercial agreement that would be mutually beneficial to both parties, instead of one party over the other. The Vice President of ASR-BSI was also asked about the Sugar Industry Amendment Bill that stalled in the Senate on Monday. Echoing the sentiments of the social partners in the Senate, VP McLaughlin asserts there should be less government intervention, controls, and regulations.
I'm a firm believer that, the private sector is the sector that's going to drive growth and jobs in Belize. I believe that whatever regulatory approach is taken by the government, it should be an enabling approach. It should be an approach that permits business associations, whatever, to get on and do their business. And in most commercial senses, I think there's recourse for dispute resolution through the courts. That would be the normal channel, I think. What we and this is a broader issue really about where we are in a regulatory nature in Belize. We are operating under a Sugar Act that we believe, and I think most people would accept, contravenes the Constitution in a number of ways. And I think, from our perspective as a business, and remembering, this is a business. It's not a it's not a government institution. It's a business. That I think, we would rather see far less government intervention and control and regulation than more. I think that's the way most industries develop. That's the way most industries are permitted to improve and to move forward. We've submitted some very clear thoughts on the way perhaps the Sugar Act might be amended in the future, and that's the gist of how we would see that taking place.
Coming up, she may be leaving office, but Dorothy Bradley is going out with honors from another country's government. Details when we return.
Merry Christmas, Belize! And to make it merrier, Brothers Habet and Habet have some great gifts for you. Like 15% off all decorative paints. That's Penta, Domestic, Dutch Boy, Berger, and Valspar. 15% off all power tools from top brands like Stanley, Black & Decker, DeWalt, Skill, and Bosch. 15% off Simpson generators and pressure washers. And 15% off Sunlight windows and doors. Plus, check out our clearance section with lots of good stuff, from 30 to 60% off. And of course, we're giving away $500 gift certificates to 12 lucky customers every day for our annual 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. Every $50 you spend gets you a chance to win. The merriest place to be this Christmas is Brothers Habet and Habet. So stop in today to pick up your gifts and fix up the place.
So I'm gonna wonder if by chance I could get your number. It's Digit. Nice.
Of course, you have digital, right?
Yeah, of course.
The truth is, your credit lasts way longer with Digi. Like if you top up with like $30, that could last you 90 days. With the other guys, that must save 60. Then with the other guys, you have to use all of your good prime credit before you even touch your bonus credit. But with Digi, you could use your bonus credit before you even touch your prime credit. Like, what are the point to have free credit if you can't use it how you want? So, what are your number?
Just give me one moment.
The truth is, only Digi offers nationwide LTE coverage, fastest mobile data speeds, and the best call quality.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
My name is Omar Deshiod. I'm in Standard 5 and I go to St. Vincent Palo TRC School. The team inspired me to work with others even in the pandemic. I had to sit in front of a screen for 45 minutes trying to learn violin. Other than the violin, I also got better at chess. I beat my whole family. I believe chess is helping me strategize the best moves, make decisions, and solve problems.
Omar put a lot of effort into the essay. He got limited assistance from school.
I had to make posters digitally with Pages, Word, and PowerPoint, which he never did before. Because I am on the internet, I learned more about stranger risks and internet safety. We would not have started using computers this early if pandemic didn't come.
I believe that this is a good initiative by BEL because students are given an opportunity to express themselves through writing, and at the same time it provides some sort of support for the schools. The cash prize means a whole lot for our school. It came in an opportune time when we were completing our bathroom project.
I would like to thank BEL for giving me the opportunity to join this competition.
It's almost time when we change the drums for the Christmas bells. And you know that when Christmas season starts, we celebrate big at Channel 5. How big? It's our 30th anniversary. That's right, the Big 3-0. And this year's Gimme 5 will be packed with fun, entertainment, and big giveaways. The show starts on December 6th and runs through December 10th, starting at 7:30 p.m. nightly. Coupons are now available for 25 cents each on our Channel 5 website and at our studios on Coney Drive. Fill out your coupons and bring them into our compound. And remember, starting December 6th, when the phone rings, don't say hello, say, "Gimme 5."
In 2016, her office exposed numerous irregularities and corrupt practices within government departments, including at the Belize Sports Council and within the Ministry of Sports, as well as other illegalities within the government. This included the sale of Belizean passports, visas, and granting of Belizean citizenship to foreign nationals. Special reports released by her office also resulted in a former Minister of Sports being recalled from his diplomatic assignment abroad at the time the irregularities surfaced. Now, Belize's retiring Auditor General Dorothy Bradley has received the prestigious U.S. State Department's Anti-Corruption Champions Award. Bradley was one of 12 people honored by the U.S. in a virtual ceremony held by the department's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
She is Belize's first female Auditor General and has served in that capacity for 10 years. Now, Dorothy Bradley is the recipient of the U.S. State Department's Anti-Corruption Champions Award as she heads into retirement. It's a distinction she accepted today, denouncing corruption and commending the people who fight against it.
Corruption results in unjust enrichment that benefits its perpetrators. It can occur on both a local and an international scale. Our collective work has demonstrated the need for government agents to work without fear or favor because it inspires conscientious, courageous champions for justice around the world. Corruption can be defined as the orchestrated robbery of the poor, which necessitates immediate action in our countries.
Bradley highlighted the relevance of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC.
The convention provides an instrument for effective action and cooperation against transnational organized crime and the streamlining of institutional and legislative frameworks.
The U.S. Embassy, in a press release, stated that the U.S. State Department introduced the Anti-Corruption Champions Award to honor people who have displayed leadership, courage, and impact in preventing, exposing, and combating corruption. Coincidentally, it was bestowed on the eve of International Anti-Corruption Day. Ramarian Ali for News 5.
Bradley issued a farewell statement a few days ago in connection with her retirement from public office. In it, she said in part, quote, "The legacy I leave behind as your first female Auditor General can be found in the work our office produced. I can say I was emboldened to always do my work without fear or favor, since I know my duty is under the Constitution and the people of Belize," unquote. Prior to her appointment as Auditor General, Bradley held a number of senior offices within the public service. The World Justice Project has released its Rule of Law Index for 2021, which presents a portrait of the rule of law in 139 countries and jurisdictions. It provides scores and rankings based on 8 factors: constraints on government powers, absence of corruption, open government fundamental rights, order and security, regulatory enforcement, civil justice, and criminal justice. So, what's Belize's rank? 93. With an overall score in the mid-range at 0.48, with 0 being the lowest possible score and 1 signifying the highest. It also came in at number 22 for the Latin American and the Caribbean countries. The executive director of the United Belize Advocacy Movement spoke to News 5 about the rankings and where he feels the law of Belize fail Belizeans.
As I reviewed the World Justice Report for 2021, I learned several things that I feel was validated in my experience on the ground. One, our timely adjudication of cases in civil matters is terrible. Our timely adjudication of criminal cases is terrible. We have fundamental rights, but Cabinet, the Attorney General Office, for example, has no respect for that fundamental right and for those fundamental rights of ordinary citizens. And I will put one point. When you will create a law that penalizes a pregnant woman for a bullet or penalize an entire family for a single bullet, it shows that the state is not interested in how it's inducing trauma on families across this country. The state is interested in control and systemic violence. When you will create or approve a law under the Domestic Violence Act that is inclusive of everybody in this country, but your insurance company refuses to acknowledge your relationship in law, that's problematic. That's systemic violence. That's economic intimidation and abuse of the worst kind that is allowed to happen because Cabinet, Parliament, the AG office does see it as a priority. Between 2016 and 2018, of the 6,000 reports of gender-based violence, 70% were dropped. You don't understand why. You have a problem. When you have half your population not participating in the labor force and you don't wish to understand their contribution to your economy, which is 1.9 billion, or the impact of discrimination and violence on women on your economy, what you're saying is that your women folks are expendable. When you are spending 1% of your GDP in the justice system and you have absolutely no preparation for dealing with persons who are intellectually challenged, physically challenged, who are emotionally challenged, and you prefer to traumatize them rather than address the substantive issue, when you decide that the optics of creating a disability desk is more important than addressing the quality of issues for persons with disability past the age of 16, that's telling me that you are not committed to this population. That's telling me you are satisfied with a minimalist approach to governance. That's unacceptable.
The report is for policymakers, civil society organizations, academics, legal professionals, and the wider public as a tool to help identify strengths and weaknesses within each country. It is also hoped these will inform policy choices. UNIBAM Executive Director Caleb Orozco feels, however, the report has not had much impact on successive Belize governments. He points to the modification of Section 53 of the Belize Criminal Code as it relates to the decriminalization of carnal intercourse against the order of nature as an example. Although the court has ruled that as an unconstitutional, 2 years later, the offense is still in the law.
In terms of relating the findings of the World Justice Report to the actual issues of governance, it is a talk shop. because no party has demonstrated they're willing to look at policy and development and economic investment in an inclusive way. When you say you support the Sustainable Development Goals and leaving no one behind, but you're leaving people behind who are marginalized in your governance, your practice does not match your commitment to act. Your words do not match your deeds, and it's time for a change in the way Parliament, Cabinet, and the AG office operate. When you have a legal decision, around Section 53 telling you that you need to modify Section 53 since 2019, but you don't see it as a priority, and you don't see how the application of that decision applies to old laws and new laws, so you're resisting that application of that ruling, that tells me that you're not interested in upholding equal protection under the law. That tells me you are satisfied with being mediocre in your governance. And this holds true for both parties. It is my hope that with the World Justice Report, that mediocre is not the value, but acts of solidarity and inclusion in legislation is given life in meaningful way. Here's hoping 2022 is different.
The U.S. government has invited 111 countries, including Belize, to participate in the Summit for Democracy, which began on Tuesday and ends on Thursday. During the meeting, 3 main themes will be explored: fighting corruption, combating authoritarianism, and promoting human rights. LGBTQI-specific data about each of the countries has been collected to produce a report card based on 30 indicators, including those regarding intersex sex characteristics. Orozco says the scorecard for Belize reflects that the government does not truly acknowledge human rights of LGBT citizens.
Diplomatically, we should be ashamed. We should be ashamed that we speak of this tranquil haven of a democracy. How can we speak of this tranquil haven of this democracy if the government of Belize cannot acknowledge the dead bodies of its own LGBT Belizean citizens, or the violence that happens in major crimes, which total over 31,000 cases? How can you speak of progress if you are afraid to take a position in this case? How can you say we live in a progressive society if Cabinet refuses to acknowledge the protection of LGBT Belizeans in this country, and then act surprised when they get a scorecard of barely 70 that does not acknowledge the human rights dimension of LGBT, that does not address the other dimensions that we are concerned with? This scorecard is important because it measures our progress as a country around inclusive governance. When Cabinet or Parliament or the AG office decides not to address the issue of violence or economic rights, it tells me as an LGBT Belizean citizen, it tells me as a gay man, that I am not worthy of protection under this government. It tells the thousands of people out there that their lives depend on them. Their lives are not valuable enough for the state to be protected. That has to change. While we may have human rights on paper, called the Constitution, it is not enough for us to have human rights on paper. This government, nor the last government, demonstrated their full commitment to our citizenship. In fact, the basic human rights element is dependent on the people who don't have the voice.
After the break, are your tickets in the box? News 5 hosts Gimme 5 tonight. We have a sneak peek for you coming up. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
When something is good and you can save, that makes it even better. Like this guy, he buys Flex bundles using his promo credit. No worries when his primary credit is finished. He gets talk, text, and data for free. Or her, she calls her family internationally with her promo credit. And with data packages so affordable, she even does video calls. Smart continues to offer great deals and affordable promotions. As a small business owner, she saves when she uses her promo credit to call the other guys. All Smart customers enjoy more triple days and knowing they can use their promo credit, which just lasts longer. Smart, bringing people together. Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Game hot right now, dog.
Tell him, you got it, though.
Boy, watch the time. Close to curfew. I seriously tired of live like this, dog.
Yeah, I feel it, bro. But you still don't get back set, Joe.
Why? I just no trust. I guess I'll get wrong to that.
You need to get on that. We know how this thing spread, and we can stop it. Only some people say the play last. No offense.
But I just see a lot of weird stuff online.
Yeah, but bro, the evidence clear. Vaccine work, and people at hospital, almost all, not vaccinated.
Yeah.
So if you're really tired of live like this, then get vax, bro. Simple.
For real. Yeah, but I will have close to curfew and I don't want to catch on charge, so later man.
Vaccines save lives and greatly reduce the risk of transmission, hospitalization, and death. Get vaccinated and let's get back to normal.
Have you gotten your Benny's dollars yet? If not, well, now is the time to do so. Why, you say? Because after December 31st, we will no longer be redeeming or issuing Benny's dollars. But don't worry, because in 2022, we will be celebrating our 75th anniversary. And we have new and exciting promotions, some great events and reward programs lined up just for you. Collect your Benny's dollars when you shop at any of our locations and redeem for cool gift items. And we have massive deals going on right now, so you can enjoy store-wide discounts. Remember to fill out the ticket portion for a chance to win the $10,000 grand prize on December 23rd. So stop in and shop to get your Benny's dollars and great deals only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's.
This holiday season, gift your home the ultimate digital experience with NextGen. New and existing customers can take advantage of our holiday promotion on any of our affordable service plans. Sign up or bundle cable TV and internet and receive free service installation or reconnection and 1 month free of any acquired service. Don't forget, HBO Max is now available to NextGen bundled customers with 40 megabytes internet or higher. Get a chance to enter our grand holiday raffle when you update your account at any of our branch locations. Our raffle will be drawn live on our Facebook page on December 24th. For more information, contact us at 0800-222-5388 or message us on Facebook or WhatsApp at 662-6365. NextGen, the preferred service provider for the ultimate digital experience. Easier ways to connect, create, and share.
Following the COVID-19 vaccination, some people may experience side effects such as soreness at the injection site, chills, nausea, body aches, or a fever. But these symptoms go away after a few days. These side effects are a result of your immune system responding to the vaccine and are not a sign that you are sick with COVID-19. The COVID-19 vaccines will not give you COVID. When you receive your vaccine, the health worker will advise you what to take if you are experiencing any of these side effects. Remember, these mild side effects cannot compare to you not being able to share memorable moments with your family and friends if you fall gravely ill from COVID. Vaccines bring us closer.
The musician and animator behind the Tekwani and Duende animated movie, David Smith, is hospitalized after surviving a life-threatening medical event. Although he underwent 2 life-saving surgeries, Smith is not yet out of the woods. His family is seeking support to meet the expenses incurred as a result of costly medication and care. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
A ruptured appendix usually requires immediate surgery or else it could prove fatal. But musician and animator David Smith lived with his appendix ruptured for almost 5 days until he was treated. His brother-in-law spoke to News 5.
This process started about 2 weeks ago, I believe. Saturday, David was feeling some pain in his lower right side of his body, and he woke up with fever. He was vomiting, and initially, the family thought it was food poisoning. He quickly went to a medical clinic in the area. A specialist came in, I think Dr. Godoy, and instantly he said, these are all the signs of appendix. And when this is now Wednesday. This is all the way from Saturday. We're now at the Wednesday after. And they verified it. His appendix actually had ruptured from the Saturday before. And we're all the way at Wednesday, so they had to rush him into an emergency surgery. And based on what they were saying, like at that stage, it was already past the just general infection. The poison had spread throughout the body, in his chest area, and also down.
They performed 2 surgeries on David Smith, and although he is still hospitalized, this morning he posted a thank you video via Facebook to all who have been supporting him during his frightening time.
Yes, I want to quickly thank you all who have been supporting so far, whether by prayers or financially. I do appreciate all of them. I'm feeling much better. I still have a long road ahead, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick update.
The family is appealing for financial help during his recovery.
There's infection, and then there's a septic, I believe. There's a severe stage, and he was at the severe stage. And so they've been doing everything, some major antibiotics. Like one of the antibiotics is $200 per shot, and he had to get like 4 of those per day. Like it's just been very, very severe. And so as you can imagine, the expense just quickly wrapped up. Basically, they're keeping him until this Saturday, and with that, we're looking at a $21,000+ bill.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
If you would like to help with David Smith's medical expenses, you can visit the GoFundMe page set up by his family. You can also contact Mervyn Budram on Facebook to find out about other ways to offer support. The Caribbean community, CARICOM, has maintained cordial relations with Cuba since 1972. And today they celebrated 49 years of mutual respect, cooperation, and solidarity. As a part of the celebration is the 19th anniversary of CARICOM Cuba Day, which was also held today. Belize joined in by expressing appreciation to Cuba for providing us with a brigade of medical doctors and other medical personnel when COVID was detected. According to a release from GOB, that deployment of over 60 medical experts to Belize helped to create a better response to the pandemic. The Minister of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation, Andre Perez, is heading a Belizean delegation to an air services negotiation event in Bogota, Colombia. It has been underway since December 6th and ends the 10th. The event is being hosted by International Civil Aviation Organization and brings together delegations from around the globe to negotiate bilateral and multilateral air services agreements. According to the Ministry of Civil Aviation's, air carriers interested in Belize as a destination can learn about the country's rules and regulations. The Belize delegation will be negotiating and signing memoranda of understanding with 13 countries, namely Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Germany, Kenya, Latvia, Oman, Qatar, Rwanda, Spain, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. Minister Andre Perez is accompanied by Kennedy Carrillo, CEO in the ministry, and Nigel Carter, Director of Civil Aviation. In cabinet news, the Prime Minister and his advisors gave approval for the Isidora Beaton Stadium in Belmopan to follow the National Sports Council, which will assume responsibility for the upkeep of the stadium and allow Citco access. Cabinet approved the Ministry of Public Utilities, Energy and Logistics Sustainable Energy Roadmap 2021 to 2024, established with a view to progress Belize to energy independence using renewable energy technologies and grid modernization. Cabinet also took note of the ministry's ongoing rural electrification program and gave its approval for further efforts. The Minister of Home Affairs and New Growth Industries informed Cabinet that the Belize Police Department, through its Traffic Police and Highway Patrol, in an effort to address the increasing number of road traffic accidents, will be increasing its presence on the highways, including increased checkpoints. In addition, police will step up its presence at shopping centers and major stores countrywide during the Christmas shopping season. Day 3 of Gimme 5 starts at 7:30, so your tickets better already be in the box because the prizes are bigger than ever. Tonight, News 5's Dwayne Moody and Paul Lopez will be hosting and picking those lucky winners from the thousands of coupons that have been entered to win. The show is our unique way of giving back to our viewers who for decades have welcomed us into their homes at night during our newscast or early morning with Open Your Eyes and our other programs. Gimme 5 always runs in the first week of December to celebrate the anniversary of the station, which began on December 9th, 1991. Producer Shanice Middleton spoke about what's in store.
Yes! This year we're celebrating the big 30th anniversary of Gimme 5. And so this year we decided to go big or go home. And so we have amazing prizes and excellent lineup. If you notice, this is only, well, tonight is going to be night 3. This is only 2 days of tickets. And this is the amount that we've gotten so far. And what I love about Gimme 5 is that it's our way of basically giving back. And especially during this Christmas time, it somewhat assists people with some of the items that you need. Because in these prizes, you walk away with cash, staycations, food, alcohol to get the extra spirit, from even mattress to TVs. So it's a wide range of items, and it's only 25 cents per coupon.
So how can people get tickets? Can they still get tickets?
Well, yes, you can go ahead and download them from our website if it's more convenient for you, or you can come and pick them up here at the office. Of course, we're adhering to COVID protocols, so you know you'd have to wait a little. But Tickets are still available. I would not recommend to wait, but if you are one of those last minute persons, you can get tickets up to Friday at 7 p.m.
Just ahead, News 5 remembers 30 years of coverage. Our guest tonight on 5 at 30 is former reporter Janelle Chanona. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
This weather update is brought to you by Smart. This weather update was brought to you by Smart.
UNICEF commemorates 75 years as a leading organization working for every child in Belize and around the world. Join in this milestone celebration on Saturday, December 11th for a time of reflection on UNICEF's history, achievements, and the fundamental stakeholders involved. The event will be aired here on Channel 5 and streamed on Facebook and YouTube commencing at 4:45 p.m. Participate in fun trivia to win awesome prizes online. For every child, UNICEF celebrates its 75th anniversary of service in Belize.
It's a fact that your credit lasts longer when using Smart. During these times, we're all trying to find ways to cut costs and save the little resources we have. With Smart, it's easy to do that. It's a fact that with Smart, your credit lasts longer. You can call Smart to Smart and Smart to Digi using your promo credit, while with the other guy, you can only call OnNet, Digi, or BTL numbers. What does this mean? You get to call any national number using your promo credit. Your promo credit is free, so that call is also free. Know your facts. Don't be tricked by the other guy. Be smart and save your dollars.
Hi, I'm Chef Sean Quillen. I love cooked fish fillet, and I prefer to get my fish straight at the fish market right here at Conchel Bay. But you see, sometimes you come out here and you don't know what you're getting. The fish has no label, it has no patch of skin. But don't worry about it. I am here today to teach you how to avoid fish fraud. When purchasing your fillet, remember to look out for the patch of skin required by law. Or you could tell them by the physical characteristics: long and slender, barracuda; nice white meat, hagfish; the deep bloodline from the bow to the stand, that is jack. When buying in bulk or buying out of a bag, make sure to inspect each fillet individually to avoid what we call in a Creole, pussy in a bag. What a pussy in a bag? Fraud. If that's not the help you, because even for me as a professional chef at this man for 40 years, that's really challenging. All I could tell you is buy from a reputable source or buy it whole. And if all of that's not available to you, just go to fishrighteatright.com and we at Oceana have a fish identification chart. Because guess where you're going here now? We talk about bloodline just now, one thing, and that's a snapper, right? Classic snapper. What kind of snapper this?
This is nurse shark.
Nurse shark. Highly illegal. No make they trick you, no make you buy pussy in a bag. Do the right thing. Fish right, eat right.
You inch your way to the edge of the board. Once you leap, there's no turning back. Your heart begins to race. You need to make a decision. Are you in or out? Join us for our brand new series where we dive deep into what it looks like to make God our Lord of all or not at all. God doesn't want just the dip of our toes or a wade in the shallows. He wants all of us. We're in or out.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
My parents always said, when it's time to build, invest in quality products that last a lifetime, even if it means paying a little more. It is now my turn to invest in my own home, and it's not even a question. It has to be Oran Windows. My contractor recommends Oran because of the heavy-duty construction, the thickest gauge blades on the market, and the dual locks that allow lower louvers to close independently for privacy while the top remains open for airflow. These features make Oran aluminum louver windows the best on the market.
With Oran aluminum louver windows, you get strength, durability, and beauty with an added layer of security and protection against debris and damaging winds. Come in and check out the variety of sizes and colors at Design Depot, located at Mile 3 Philip Goldson Highway in Belize City.
Bringing people together has always been SMART's mission and passion. That is why we are proud to have built a locally independent quality network from the ground up that spans the country with over 100 sites. We continue to add more affordable mobile data packages, broadband speeds, and voice services to meet your personal and business needs. SMART has set the standard of true competition with the most competitive prices on all services offered. We invite and welcome you to join the SMART family, where the value for your dollar matters. SMART will continue bringing new technologies, more affordable prices, network expansions, and people together. SMART, bringing people together.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipid, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart. If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
In tonight's edition of News 5 Remembers, we bring you an interview first conducted in 2016 with former reporter Janelle Chanona. Many of you know her from her current work with Oceana Belize, but we like to think she got her start in environmental advocacy during her 9 years of covering stories for News 5. She was among the first Belizean journalists to put the spotlight on conservation and Belize's many natural wonders and resources. But she covered a wide range of news, was one of our news directors, and even anchored the news, sometimes all in the same day. Here's Janelle Chanona on her days at Channel 5.
Immediately, like the week after I graduated from college, I sent my resume to 17 Regent Street, and I had an interview the following week, and I was hired that month. And I hit the streets as a beat reporter.
Armed with an altimeter to measure altitude so I can check when I'm free falling and know when I'm supposed to pull the ripcord, I'm good to go. But notice how the color is starting to drain from my face?
It feels just like I'm falling for the first time.
It's now or never.
Never leave the station without some food because you never knew where you want to get, dispatched to, because, you could be out, you could be home at the middle of the night and you'd get a phone call and your day would start. You'd be covering a fire, or you'd be at a press conference and you'd get a call saying there's an incident, there's a murder, there's something else, and you'd have to go out there. I even remember some people would say, I don't know how you do your job because I'm afraid for to ask so and so this, or afraid for walk up to somebody and put a mic in their face, or I understand it can be intimidating, but I think we should never lose the sense that we have rights to ask questions and to get answers and to be informed and engaged and to participate in what's happening, because if you don't get those answers, that doesn't mean whatever is happening won't impact you. You really had to be very cautious about eyewitness accounts. I remember one story where we got sent out saying somebody had fallen off a lamppost, and all the eyewitness accounts was that this man was a goner. His eyes were coming out, his bone was sticking out of his arms and all of this. And so we document these multiple eyewitness reports, and then we get to KHMH, and as we're walking in, we almost kind of bump into somebody that was leaving. And so we asked the orderlies, where's this guy that, apparently is at death's door because of this incident? And he's like, Siane? And it's the same guy that's walking out with maybe a scratch on him, So it was always about taking everything with a grain of salt and questioning everything.
Today, Placencia is but a semblance of its former self. Hurricane Iris may have moved quickly over the peninsula, but the destruction she brought with her will be felt by many for a very long time.
I have to say, because of being a journalist, I have been to places and met people that I never would have met were it not for this job. I'm talking way back a bush, way out the key, the smallest villages, the smallest communities, but that had the biggest stories. And I loved being able to be out there in the field and documenting it and seeing what life was like.
Getting to the mouth of the cave is no easy proposition. The journey begins 300 feet above the floor of this incredible sinkhole.
I really think the legacy of News 5 and the station is that they really brought to every Belizean that had access what was happening out there in Belize, whether it was droughts in Blue Creek, or the water coming back at Five Blues Lake, or some key that had been levied, or some island that had been sold. Whatever it was, good, bad, ugly, and in between, they were telling the story. And it was objective reporting, and it was presenting what was out there so that you could then be informed and get to your own conclusion. And it's really, I think, the legacy, as I said, is that the people that have worked here and that continue to work here, I think are striving to keep up that reputation. And without question, some of my ever best memories are at Channel 5, because of Channel 5, with the Channel 5 crew.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.